Welcome back to another episode. I am Sticks. This is my best friend and co-host D-Lo, and we are Too Complex. We got some good, kind of old, but still relevant content for y'all today. But before we get into the topics of the day, make sure you like the video. I'm fucking it up right now. I'm tired, but make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these bangers that we drop every single week. D-Lo, what's good with you, my boy? How was your weekend, my G?
Keep all that in there.
Yeah, we're going to keep it, bro. We're going to keep it. Fuck
all
it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you said how was the weekend? Is that what you said?
Yeah, today Tuesday, right? Yeah, how was the weekend, Cole?
Yeah. The weekend was good, man. Did a little traveling over the weekend. My wife got to see some of her friends. So I got to see some of her friends, obviously. The whole family traveled to DC, enjoyed that area. Don't go there quite often, but we do have some friends in that area. So it was good to get up there, see those individuals. I will say though, we drove and it rained all this weekend, and I'll get into the rain, another portion of today and the week. But the rain, we hit pockets of rain where it was like really bad. And it made the trip the worst and way longer than it needed to be. I ended up being on the road for 16 hours in the span of 2 days. It was just the worst, man. But I mean, other than that, it was good. I will also say I don't feel safe in my own home anymore.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
Please don't speed past that.
I'm not.
You got to get too much detail, but still.
I was going to elaborate. Oh, I can give all the details of why.
Oh, do you think?
It's not anything crazy. But for those that don't know, I'm terrified of snakes. And as I just mentioned, it's been raining here heavily the last couple of days. And so wildlife is all over the place. So as I'm leaving the house today to go pick up my son from daycare, open up the garage, chilling in front of the garage, just like, yo, what's up? This big behind snake. No, sir. Close the garage, go back in the house.
No, sir.
Close the garage, go back in the house. I'm like, nah, man. So I'm tiptoeing and trying to sneaking out the house, basically looking over my shoulder, make sure ain't no snakes out. So just don't feel safe in my own home anymore.
That boy was Pink Panthering around the corner trying to make sure
you feel me?
Trying to.
Yeah.
So you say big, but was it really big though? Pause.
Yeah, boy, it was at least okay. So when I say for me, a big snake, because we don't see snakes too often.
For sure.
Is like 4 feet plus. It was at least 5 feet long.
Yeah, that's a big snake for us. Being in Fayetteville, North Carolina, that's a big snake.
Yeah.
Being from Fayetteville, that's a big snake.
Yeah,
that's a big snake.
It was at least 5 feet long, man. I mean, if anything, if I'm exaggerating, then it was at least my daughter's height, who was like 4 feet, 4'2", 4'3", something like that. So that's pretty
Good
big.
Gracious, for people who don't see snakes often, that's a big snake. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and I don't play with snakes at all.
So what did you do about the snake?
It went away.
It went on its own accord. You ain't have to do.
Yeah, so I ended up going out the front door. Yeah. Oh, because my wife didn't want me to kill it because it was a black snake. It's a guard snake. You're not supposed to kill those. They're good for the environment. They eat mice and they eat other poisonous snakes and so on and so forth. But you know me, I've killed plenty of snakes because I don't like them. But I just
you had some in your backyard at one point before, right?
I had one that I chopped his head off.
You chopped his head off. I remember that.
Yeah. But other than that, weekend was good. Again, got to see a lot of family friends, spend time with them, spend time with the family on the road. We was in the car a little bit too much, but can't complain. How about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty quiet, man. Low key. I didn't have Sam this past weekend because her mom had some things planned. I think she took them to Great Wolf Lies, so that was good for them. It's warmer here in Washington now. It's not as hot as people. It's been hot, but it's not nowhere close as hot as North Carolina. Like, it's not hot as the devil's ball sack out here. No, it's hot for us in Washington, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm used to this kind of heat. This is nothing for me being from North Carolina. So I didn't have Sam this weekend. So I just kind of, lay low, man.
We were
What?
just talking about how hot it was last
No.
week.
The only reason why it's hot is because there's no AC. If I'm outside regularly in 85-degree heat, that's not hot to me. But being hot in your house is different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you ain't got ain't no central air here. So it's like, you come in from outside expecting to have some cool, and then it's the same degrees. You like, what the hell's going on? But nah, like being outside at 85-degree heat is easy work. That's easy work being from 110 sometimes in North Carolina, which is kind of crazy. Heat index is ridiculous. But yeah, so I just kind of laid low, man. The new NCAA came out, so I played that pretty much all weekend. I just kind of relaxed, man. We didn't record because you was out of town, so I had Friday to myself and was just kind of chilling, man. So mine was real light. Got Sam on Sunday, and we kind of chilled out on Sunday. Yesterday, went to a new taco spot. Sam don't like Mexican food, but we went to this place called Chronic Tacos, and that joint was fire. Even she ate it. That's how good it was. And Sam do not like Mexican food.
Why she don't like Mexican food though?
I don't know, bro. Every time I try to put her on Mexican food, she just look at it like it's nasty. I don't have no idea why. But I gotta get her palate together, man. I gotta get her into some new food. So we're gonna see how that go. But yeah, so we had a pretty low key weekend, and then now she here, so we're gonna kind of try to do some fun things during the week. So we're gonna figure it out.
Okay. All right. You want to get right into it then?
Go ahead and get right into it, my G.
All right, man. Starting out with NFL football. So, as you mentioned, some relevant news, kind of old, but still relevant. So, Jordan Addison, the talented rookie wide receiver, who is going into his second year, was arrested on charges of suspected driving under the influence, or better known as a DUI. This incident has not only raised questions about his judgment off the field, but also now cast a shadow over his career. This has been a series of events, not just for Addison, but for other NFL players that have been involved with instances of drinking while driving in the NFL lately. Sticks, does the NFL have a drinking and driving issue?
I would say yes, because I feel like, and we've talked about this on the show a couple of times, where people, these young athletes that come from nothing, just like me and D-Lo. We came from one of the roughest cities in North Carolina. We came from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Can't necessarily say we came from particularly nothing, but we came from like the trenches. Like we had to get it out the mud, low key. And for guys that are like that, who come into that, who have the talent and the God-given ability to make it to the NFL, and they get all this money, they do silly things. Like you just had Henry Ruggs. What is that? A year and a half to almost 2 years ago now.
2 years ago,
was drinking and driving and ended up killing a young lady. You know what I'm saying? And now we got
speeding too.
Yeah, going crazy. He was going
actually,
like over 100 miles per hour.
And driving though. Was he drinking and driving, or was he just driving recklessly?
He was drinking. He was drunk too.
Okay.
Henry Ruggs was drunk too. So he just got into that situation a couple of years ago. Jordan Addison just got a DUI literally a couple of weeks after his best friend on the football team, a cornerback, what was his name? Kyrie Jackson, just got killed by a drunk driver. So it's like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like we got too many young guys out here with a lot of money that's just doing reckless things, buying a lot of stuff, doing reckless things, and they weren't brought up in a situation where they understand how to handle this type of, number one, attention, and number two, money, the fame and the riches that it just came into low key instantly. Because if you got that kind of ability and you get drafted, you're gonna get millions off top. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I'm scared for about Addison is that Addison had a really, really, really good year whenever Whenever Justin Jefferson got hurt, he became the number one receiver, and he was a rookie. And he's going into his second year. He's trying to get paid money. He's trying to get bread. He could get money like what's old boy from Philly? He just got a new Devontae Adams. No, Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith. Yeah. He just got paid $25 million to be the second receiver to AJ Brown, who also just got another contract for $32 million a year. So you are going into your second season where you are going into basically a contract where you can get $20 million a year because you are one of the best number two receivers in the NFL, in the league, and you out here, saying, number one, you had a reckless driving charge a week before you got a DUI. or no, not a week before, but a few months before you got a DUI. And like, bro, like, what are you doing? You messing up your money. You really about to fumble the bag because you out here doing silly shit. Like, I believe that they do have a DUI problem. I just think I don't think the NFL can do anything about it though. Like, they can give you a harsher suspension, but it's just like, number one, alcohol is legal. Not saying that anybody should do it, but every state has free alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Like, not free, but like every state has legalized alcohol. Not every state has legalized marijuana, which is that's coming in some years to come. I'm pretty sure every state will end up having that over a span of time. But they're just doing silly shit and they just fumbling the bag. And like, these guys need some kind of guidance before they get into the NFL, man, because they just need to learn how to just calm down, stay out of the spotlight, stop doing silly shit, and you'll be better off throughout the rest of your career, maybe have a longer career because you're not doing the dumb shit that you're doing. But what you think? You think they got a problem, and can the NFL do anything about it in that sense?
So they definitely have a problem, and they have tried to do something about it, which is why I'm baffled that we've seen so many especially this year, because it's been kind of ridiculous. I want to say at least every month, if not every month, every other month, you've seen multiple individuals in the news for drunk driving charges from the NFL. And what the NFL has tried to do, at least from my knowledge in years past, is if you're out drinking, you can call a service and they will come pick you up for the free. And it's on the NFL. I don't understand why this is such a big deal. Like, you know, I used to roll in circles where I used to hang out with some NFL players, and anytime we were out drinking, they would always use that service like clockwork. So it baffles me that these individuals are getting these charges right now for drunk driving. Like nobody cares if you're out drinking, but everybody cares when you get behind that wheel. Well, okay, I shouldn't say everybody, because obviously somebody doesn't care if they were out with you drinking and they still allow you to get behind that wheel. Because somebody has to say, all right, man, you know, whatever, go ahead, you all right. But nobody cares that you're drinking, but mostly everybody cares when you get behind that wheel, especially when you're drunk, and especially if you get in an accident or something like that happens, because usually it's tragedy that comes behind that. If it's not tragic, it's catastrophic. So
near there, yeah, facts.
Yeah, near tragic. So it just baffles me, man. Celebs and athletes in particular, you see in the news for these type of charges when they have the means to have rideshare. You know, if you don't want to use Uber because, you know, you don't want most people to know that you're out intoxicated like that, they have these discreet driving services that can come pick you up. They'll be discreet about it. Won't really, you know, have your face in the news or anything like that for being intoxicated out in public. And going about your business, but don't get behind the wheel, especially after you have been drinking and driving. So I do think the NFL has tried their best to do something about it. Like I said, offering those services for the players when they are out doing things like this, and you know they want to get home safely, offering those driving or pickup services for free. But for whatever reason, some players, I won't say all, because like I said, I rolled in circles where we took advantage of it. Some players just choose not to. So I don't know what it is.
I don't either, man. I mean, luckily, Addison, nothing happened catastrophic or tragic with Addison. He was just found on the side of the road, knocked out, sleep, and did a sobriety test. He was, you know, under the influence, but something could have happened, bro. And what did they say after every single alcohol commercial? What they say? Drink responsibly, right? And a part of the responsibility is drinking and not driving, or drinking to a point, knowing a limit to drinking. And
knowing your
you
limits.
just gotta be responsible. Just like D-Lo said, there had to be somebody around him. Like that's why you gotta roll in circles like D-Lo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like being around guys who are gonna be more responsible and say, hey, we don't need to be driving this car. We need to use this service. The service is free. Why not use it? There had to be somebody in his circle that said, bro, you good, bro. Just go ahead and get to the crib, man. Be safe. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean be safe? Boy drunk. What you talking about? Be safe.
Right.
Like what you talking
Know
about?
when he's drunk too. You know when your boy drunk.
You know when your boy gone. You know when your boy gone. Ain't no way you don't know when your boy gone. So it's like, why are you allowing your friend, who was one of the best receivers in the league, about to have a contract year, going to making $25 million a year, possibly $20+ million a year, to allow him to do something dumb like that? And that's your boy. This kind of reminds me of like a John Morant situation. You got your homies allowing you to be this dumb, but you rolling with the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? Like, because.
And it's just not Jordan Addison. Like I said, it's plenty of players that have been in the news for this same instance the last couple months. Sure. But yeah, it's just him that sparked this conversation between us right now. I just don't. He still has what he has to have at least 2 more years on.
He was a rookie last year, so he's got another 2 years on this contract. But he can get paid after this next year. So he can get an extension.
After 2 years,
he can get an extension.
Okay.
He can get an extension. And that extension can be upwards of $20 million if he does right. Because you got Devontae Smith getting $25 million. You got Debo getting $20 million. You got, who else did I see on this list that's getting $20 million a year? Terry McLaurin getting $23 million. You got Terry McLaurin getting $23 million.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin been in the league for a few years.
For a good minute.
For sure.
Oh yeah, no, he's been in there for a while.
Been in the league for more than
about
2,
5,
more than 3
think, right?
for sure. Yeah.
About 5.
So,
but you got players out here that's getting bread. Amon-Ra St. Brown just got $30 million. He was balling though. I ain't gonna say like he ain't deserve it, but there's receivers out here that he's very much like, or maybe even better than. I can argue that Addison is better than Terry McLaurin. I can argue that, and he making $23 million. He making $23 million. I mean,
Terry McLaurin is nice now.
No, Terry McLaurin is good. I think Addison as a rookie was close to that at very least. Let's look at some stats. Hold on, I want to see some stats. Let me see some stats. Hold on, I'm gonna look them up. You can talk because you can argue that while I'm looking these stats up.
No, I mean Terry McLaurin for sure is like one of the better receivers in the league. He he just played with bad quarterbacks the last 2 years for sure.
I agree that I agree with.
I mean, but you could also argue that Addison lost Kirk Cousins, also lost the other viable receiver in Justin Jefferson. But, what's my boy name that came in? Dotson. Dotson came in and played well for the Vikings, and then he got hurt, and then somebody else came. But, I mean, the offensive coordinator or head coach, who is also, I believe, the offensive coordinator, he calls the play, so to speak, is pretty good for the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm sure he drew up some plays to get him in position to be the best receiver possible. As you can see how Justin Jefferson's career started the last 2 years, and he's taken off.
$35 million a year contract he just signed. Good gracious alive.
Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Lord. So, but I mean, to say he's better than Terry McLaurin, I mean, I can see the argument, but I still think Terry McLaurin.
I think they're comparable, but Terry McLaurin did just have 4 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, so I can't.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah.
So, but he just had 80 catch, 1,002 yards with 4 touchdowns. My boy Jordan Addison had 70 catches, 915 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So, you know what I'm saying? But of course, Terry McLaurin is the number 1 receiver. Jordan Addison had to step into that role after Jettas got hurt, and he had an amazing rookie season. So, but if you comparing stats and you comparing productivity, I say Jordan Addison after this year can get extended for a $23 million contract, but he got to keep his nose clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got to keep his nose clean and stay and use the resources available to you, sir. And or big idea, just don't drink. Like, what the fuck? Like,
or drink at home.
Or just what they say after every commercial, just drink responsibly. Like, but we saying this because we're not in that situation and we don't know what we would do with all that money, yada, yada, yada. I feel like I would be a little bit more responsible. I don't drink already as it is, for real, if we being real. But I mean, but when I was in that situation, we're not gonna talk about that. But
you wasn't out drinking and driving though. So,
I was not.
The point
at all.
The moral of the story is you weren't out drinking and driving, and the NFL again, I don't know if they still offer these services, but from what I know from 5 years ago, they had these services readily available. Just call this number, they'll come pick you up. You don't pay for anything. It's on the NFL. Make sure you
Mm-hmm.
get home safely. The NFL, I mean, I'm sure they could probably do more, but they were at least doing this to make sure that their players were safe and that they weren't putting anybody else in
For
harm's
sure.
way. So, you know, for you, Jordan Addison, and all the rest of the players, you know, I don't want to just point you out because you're not the only one in this situation. But again, you were the spark plug of this conversation. For you and others to knowingly have this available to you and decide to do opposite and get behind the wheel after you've had one too many is irresponsible.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But moving on to other somewhat NFL news, Odell Beckham Jr. was on social media a few days ago talking about how he supposedly won a case against Nike and justice was served. He put a post on Instagram that says just do ... right, and then he tagged Nike. I want to take this moment to thank God first and foremost. Thank you, Heavenly Father. I want to thank my team for every hour they have spent preparing on this case. I want to thank the jury for simply doing what was right in a world full of wrong. My message to whoever needs this is stand up for what you believe in. Justice was served. Come to find out, he was full of shit. So D-Lo, how you feel about Odell Beckham on social media acting like he won over Nike, but come to find out he ain't really get shit? And I mind you, it's will be $20 million just for context. But how you feel about this whole Odell Beckham situation, D-Lo?
I mean, this is Odell Beckham. This is just him. He flexes for Instagram,
Does
and
flex for the
so
ground.
it doesn't surprise me that after the case was settled, where both parties got nothing, Nike was trying to get somewhere between 7 million and 9 million from Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham, who said he got 20 million, in the reports that I've read, was only asking for about 800,000 or so.
862.
Yeah, so that's a big discrepancy. 862 for
And
20
20
million. But
mil.
anyway, and neither one of them got anything. But I mean, you know that. But get back to the topic. This is just what he does. He flexes for the gram, tries to make things bigger than what they actually are, or just flexes who he is, his status in the world of celebrities, in the world of athletes, and just the hierarchy of individuals in general. So, I mean, I'm not surprised by this, but I will say um, he looks like, to me, he looks like a fool right now, saying thank God and saying that he got this amount of money, but in actuality he got nothing. Now he could be thanking God because maybe he got out of a bad contract with Nike and now he's free to sign whatever he wants to do or go whatever he wants to. But I think a lot of teams, a lot of companies may see him as, I mean, he still could be marketable, I guess. You know, he has
Yeah, he's
the
still
hair,
marketable. Yeah.
he has the look, but he could also be seen as damaged goods. And so, you know, his time has kind of passed, and now there's somebody else that could step into what Odell Beckham was supposed to be and do better than what he was.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a fool in this situation, man, because he claiming 20 mil when he was only asked for 862. Nike was countersuing him for between 7 and 15 million, according to the report.
Okay. I thought it was 9. My bad.
Yeah. No doubt, no doubt. But Nike actually also put out a statement that said within this verdict, all of Mr. Beckham's claims have been decided against him without any monetary reward. The decision confirmed that Nike complied with its commitments. Nike is grateful to the jury and the court for their careful attention in this case. So, and if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not going to read all the way through this report, but if I'm not mistaken, this whole thing happened over some gloves, right? Like he was doing some things with some gloves, and they kind of made it this issue came up in 2022 for some gloves. I know it wasn't his cleats because his cleats always change, and they loved the way he did his cleats, but I think it was over some gloves, wasn't it? Yeah, it says
Maybe.
despite not
Yeah.
receiving any money, Beckham Jr. did receive some good news. It was ruled that Beckham's glove customizations did not breach his contract, that Nike waived its right to enforce the contract for certain glove designs, and that Beckham did not violate his contract by disclosing terms of the deal. So this came up over some gloves. Like I initially thought it was because of his cleats, because his cleats was always outrageous, but he always still had Nike branding, stuff like that, the way you could clearly see he was a Nike athlete, Nike signed athlete. But I didn't even realize it was about his gloves. Like that was crazy. But he definitely like a fool, bro. Because why are you out here flexing for the gram, acting like you about to win 20 mil and you actually didn't get anything? And initially, you was only asking for 800, less than 900,000. That's it's like 9% of what you was actually asking for. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's nothing compared to what you actually said you got. So, like, I don't know, bro. It just seemed weird. Like, why are you being weird, bro? Like, why are you being so weird?
No, I mean, so as far as the cleats are concerned, though, he did used to wear a lot of different type of cleats. Nike, they were still Nike branded, but I don't think he could wear them in an actual NFL game. But he used to wear them before the game, and that's where all
got you.
the
Okay,
flicks and whatnot used to come from. And then he couldn't. I'm pretty certain he couldn't wear a lot of those cleats in the game. Because the NFL is no fun league and it's a uniform, right? So you have to wear a specific uniform.
Unless it's going to charity or it's supporting a charity or something like that.
Yeah, but they only do that one game out of the season.
True shit.
Yeah, so
true shit.
Yeah, so I mean, for it to be the glove, so that's kind of funny to me because I didn't think there was anything in your contract uniform wise or with Nike that pertained to the gloves. Because I mean, I don't know, that's odd to me.
Yeah. So I guess
remember we could only wear gray back in the day. Well, you made it to the league, so you could wear whatever you wanted to.
Yeah,
but
I could.
College, all we could do was wear gray.
That's all we could wear is gray. That's all we could wear was gray. If we had anything other than gray gloves, it was a problem in college. But so I guess the next question is, well, two questions really. Who takes Odell's spot as a Nike athlete in the NFL? And I think I can name one clear-cut person that probably should be it. And then two, where does Odell Beckham go from here as far as shoe contracts or like any endorsements from there?
So as far as who takes Odell's spot, yeah, that's a good question. I don't really have an answer to that. I mean, are we saying just receivers or just anybody in general?
I would just lock it down to receivers, yeah.
Okay, receivers. So it could be DK.
It could be DK. Okay,
I could be. It could be. I mean, the man we just mentioned earlier, Justin Jefferson.
That's the number one name that I was thinking about was Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, if we're talking about like Odell specific, I think Justin Jefferson is pretty big right now. He's marketable because of the dance, the gritty. He's marketable because of his, you know, he wears the grills and stuff. His personality and whatnot. He's a good receiver. For the most part, stays out of trouble. DK could also be marketable because of his physique, because of how because how good he plays. But and then he again stays out of trouble for the most part. So I mean, those two individuals
ain't much trouble to get in up here in Seattle. I ain't gonna it ain't much trouble. Hey, I'm telling you. Unless you're going to the mountains going crazy, it ain't that much trouble you can get in up here. I'm not gonna hold you.
Well, I'm just saying. So, but he has the money to fly in and out wherever he wants.
For sure.
I mean, those are the two that come to mind when I think about it. And what was the second question you asked?
Where
does Odell go from here? So Odell, he's with the Miami Dolphins right now. He has not had the last couple of seasons that he had wanted to have, especially coming off that ACL injury. But he can still revitalize his career. He's not particularly old, but in football terms, he's older, I should say. So, if he's willing to play the role of second, third receiver, he'll be a good second or third receiver. but it's going to be tough in Miami because they have two good receivers in Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And so he could be that third receiver that relieves some pressure off of those two. A kind of a possession guy, if you will, for Tua. And hopefully Miami can. They lost the first round of playoffs this year. Or did they even make it to the playoffs this year? I can't remember.
They made it to the playoffs. They made it to the playoffs.
Okay, yeah, they did, and they lost to Buffalo, right? And so they can, or the Chiefs. I forgot who they lost to, but they lost to a cold team, that's for sure. And so if they can, if he can assume that role, I think he'll have another couple of years left in the league. But if he's a diva, which everybody claims he is,
they lost to the Chiefs 26-7.
Yeah, so if he's a diva like everybody claims he is, which I don't think he is, I think he's pretty good to work with. But if he's a diva in that situation, then his time in the NFL won't be much longer than 2 years, in my opinion.
Agreed. I mean, he didn't have a bad. For Odell Beckham, he had a bad year. I mean, last year he only had 35 catches. They had 565 yards though, and 3 touchdowns. So it wasn't necessarily super duper bad, but in Odell Beckham, the aura that he had came into the league with when he was with the Giants, and the Pro Bowl years that he put up, and the catches that he made for Odell Beckham, 35 catches, 565 is a bad year. Especially coming off of 1,000 yards at Cleveland, and then getting hurt, but still had 319 yards the year before that. But then opening up the year with 1,300, 1,450, 1,300, 10, almost 1,100, almost 1,100 again.
Open up his career, you mean?
With the Giants.
Career,
in between that, got hurt in 2017, so he had a little bit of off year that. But then coming back again, having some good seasons. So in Odell Beckham standards, yeah, he had a couple of bad seasons back to back, but I would see him going somewhere like Adidas, you know what I'm saying, that still has a little bit of creativity with their cleats, you know what I'm saying, especially now that he's at this contract with Nike. They still got some creativity and some nice colors and things that they do with their cleats over in Adidas. But if somebody gonna take his place, I would say it would be Jettas for sure, because he got that moxie about him. He got that personality about him. He flashy, you know. He on social media the same, not necessarily the same way as Odell, but he still do his thing on social media too, especially Instagram. So
kids love Jettas too.
Kids love Jettas, especially because of the gritty. The gritty is super popular. It's one of the more popular dances that you can do right now, especially with the kids. So, and it's in all the video games, and you can do the gritty in NBA 2K. You can do the gritty in Madden. You can do the gritty in Fortnite. So like it's all over
college football.
College football, they do it too. Yep. So I think Jettas would be the number one name to me that would be able to take Odell's spot at Nike for sure.
Yeah. All right. So Jalen Brown last week or a week and a half was caught on TV as he was attending the Lakers Summer League game. Lip readers are saying he said, "I don't think Bronny is a professional." And so a lot of people are wondering, this caused a lot of debate online about Brown's comments. And a lot of people are wondering, is Jalen Brown a hater, or does he have a point about what Bronny said? So, or what about Bronny's career and if he's a professional or not? So, Sticks, what do you think? Is Jalen Brown just hating, or is he telling the truth?
I think his statements came off as hate, but I don't necessarily think he's hating, me personally. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the fact that he had Angel Reese and old girl holding hands. That was something else in itself.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that, but that was
What's
something like,
name?
okay, Kazir Gondrezic.
Kazir, yeah.
I can't pronounce her name, but number one, she fine, and Angel Reese fine too, and he had both of them walking behind him holding hands. All right, well, we're gonna talk. That's another story for another day. But
Gondrezic, Kazir Gondrezic. What is she?
She. I don't think she's in the league no more. I think she just got cut by the team that she was with. I think she was with the Liberty. I think. What you said? Is she?
Yeah, I said, what is she? What is her ethnicity?
It don't matter. Fine.
Oh, yeah, we know that. But what I'm saying is, what the name Gondrezic.
Gondrezic.
Like,
Gondrezic.
she looks like she looks to be black, but Gondrezic doesn't imply that she's black. So
Exactly.
that's why I'm like, what is she? Oh, anyway, my fault. I didn't mean to.
No, you good. You good. You good. But so I think his statement came off as hate, but I don't think it was necessarily hate because he has a point. We talked about this on the show a couple of times that Bronny has pro potential. But is he a pro right now? Did he deserve to be drafted? Is he going to be on the Lakers because of nepotism? 100%. All of that stuff is true. He didn't necessarily deserve to be drafted, but he was drafted in the second round because of his pops, because of nepotism. He did have a couple of really good. His last two summer league games were better games than what people projected it to be. It was better than his first two for sure. But Jalen Brown said he didn't think that Bronny was a pro. Kaiser said, I think he's going to be in the G League for sure. And then of course, Jalen Brown said, I don't think so. I think because of his name, he'll be on the Lakers. So he has a point. I mean, what he's saying is 100% true. What he's saying is 100% true. I don't think that's hate. Bronny, at this point in his career, he's not a pro. He should be on a two-way contract and probably should be in the G League somewhere, but he's not going to be because he just signed a guaranteed contract as a second round 55th pick, signed a $7 million guaranteed contract to where he can play with his dad next year. And he's probably going to be the 15th man on the end of the bench, but he's going to be on the Lakers roster. I would be surprised. Well, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised because it's a good move for the Lakers to do. But I would 100% be surprised if he does play any minutes in the G League. I would be surprised. But see, that's the thing. I think they're going to keep him on the roster just to have that magical moment. But at some point during the year, he's going to go down to the G League. I think so. And they're going to probably sign somebody in his place. But it's going to be like, bro, like he needs to be on a two-way. He needs to be on a two-way. He don't need that guaranteed contract. He needs to be on a two-way contract to where he earns that guaranteed contract. But he already got it. So what you going to do? You go have to keep him on the contract on the roster at some point, right? So Jalen Brown he's not hating. Came off as a hater 100% because that was low-key some hating shit to say. But he telling the truth. He telling the truth. He low-key telling the truth. What you think? You think he hating?
I do not think he's hating. I think we live in a climate where if somebody is telling the truth or often tells the truth is considered hate. And
truth hurts.
Truth hurts. I don't see anything wrong with what Jalen Brown said, even if it wasn't meant for public consumption. I don't see anything wrong with it. If he feels like Bronny isn't a pro, which a lot of people don't feel like Bronny's a pro and don't feel like he should have been drafted. We said like you said in your part, we said on the podcast, we didn't think Bronny was a pro. Yes, he showed potential in the combines with his shooting and athleticism and whatnot. But actually playing in the games, we didn't see how he became the 55th overall pick. If you take his name off of him and, insert James Bryan, it's like, okay, yeah, this dude averaging 4 points a game, 2 assists, 3 assists, 2 steals, or whatever the case is. He's not going to get drafted. But because of who his dad is, he is in the league and, like you said, has a guaranteed contract for the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. Is it? Next 4 years. So, I mean, I don't think Jalen Brown, who is the NBA Players Association vice president, considered the smartest guy in the NBA because of what he does off the court. And, he's a part of some science or NASA society and stuff like that. He does that type of stuff in the off season. I think he can judge professional basketball talent pretty well. I would like to think. And so I don't think what he said was hating. So, and if he's wrong, then he's wrong. But there have been worse takes made about playing careers before.
I agree with you, but I mean, if you take Bronny's name off of it and put James Bryan on there, if he Kobe's son, do he get in?
No, I said James Bryan, not Bryant.
Bryan. Oh, okay, got you. About to say because if it's Kobe's son, he might get in that month.
No.
He might have still got drafted, but like you said, man. But Bronny is who we knew he was. His stats look just like USC. So, like, what did you expect? What did you expect?
He played better the last couple of nights. Which takes into our next topic, our next portion of this segment here shortly. But for sure. I mean, overall, he's played exactly how he played at USC. Now again, I've said it a couple times. He was on minutes restrictions early on in the season at USC when he was in college, and as he began to get back into playing shape, they opened up his minutes a bit more. But I mean, he just didn't play that often. He didn't play that many minutes at USC, so that could be a reason why. And we're seeing as he becomes more comfortable in himself, he's starting to get more confident. He's still shooting, but his points production is going up a little bit better, going up in the summer leagues. So, I mean, he's a work in progress, and maybe it'll work out in the end. You compare him to Patrick Beverly. I see that as a good comparison, especially if you look at the summer. And when you first said it, I was like, But now looking at the summer league stats and then comparing it to Patrick Beverly's stats, that could be a good comparison.
But not even that. If Jalen Brown is a good, if Jalen Brown is a standard of summer league, Bronny shot better than him in his summer league than what Jalen Brown shot in his. Jalen Brown was 5 for 26. Bronny was 6 for 26. So not necessarily better. I mean, a percentile point better. But at the same time, it's like you didn't have a good summer league either. And people were probably looking at you like, he might have been overdrafted because he playing shit in the summer league. But you can't say that. You can't say that you don't think Bronny's a pro whenever you shot worse than him in your summer league, bro. And now you a Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and a world champion. So let's not get ahead. I'm not going to get ahead of myself and say that Bronny is going to grow to be Jalen Brown. That's OD. But at the same time, you didn't have a good summer league either, bro. So just give that man some time. Give him some grace to get comfortable. Like D'Lo was saying, he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the NFL, in the NBA system, and starting to grow into his own. Let that man have some time. Let him have some grace. But we'll see. But
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say in Jalen Brown's defense on this one, I'm pretty sure his stats coming out of Cal were better than Bronny's.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just getting accustomed to the league, probably working the jitters out of being in the NBA. Same could be said about Bronny, but I don't think anybody that had Jalen Brown stats coming out of Cal and then not performing well in the summer league would say, "Oh, he's not a pro." No, he's not
Nobody would ever
ready.
say that. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
But with Bronny, again, only scoring 4 points and being a second round pick, it's natural that you would say he's just not a pro. He is who, like you said, he is who we thought he was.
He is who we thought he was.
Give him some time. He is a James kid. He could grow to be more than what we think he is. He has opportunity, and that's all we need is opportunity. And what we do with the opportunity is on us. And so what Bronny does with this opportunity will be on him, and we'll see. And
Jalen Brown's freshman stats, 14 points, what assists, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. So a lot better than 4, 3, and 2. So we get it. We can have the argument all we want to, but now that Bronny has played a couple of games pretty good in the summer league, now all of a sudden he is the favorite for Rookie of the Year. D'Lo, how you feel about that?
This is nonsense.
Nonsense.
I don't know if people
9,
are.
Ass a 10, Ass 11.
Right. You feel me? I don't know if people are just playing the odds and trying to say, well, if Bronny, because what's the percentage? Or
I just saw it. It was the percentage. Well, damn, I just saw it. Go ahead, keep talking.
I'm sure it's something crazy. So they're saying okay, well, if he plays like this, and for whatever reason,
250 to 1,
rookie.
250 to 1 to win.
I got you.
They definitely play. So if somebody puts $1,000 bet, they'll make a $250,000 winnings off of that bet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
If you put $1 down, you make $250.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just feel like the people and the media are funny when it comes to certain individuals. They'll turn on their head for whatever reason at a drop of a dime. And so before Bronny started scoring 12, 13 points a game, it was like, oh, like we just
Counting him
said,
out.
he's not a pro. He's not ready. He don't need to be. He won't be there for long. Now he's started to perform decent. Oh, he might be the rookie of the year. Let me put some money on him. No, but if let's not forget about the rookie that he's playing with, Dalton Connect.
Dalton Connect.
Played
I was just about to say
played
that.
very well. Played very well
Yeah.
this whole most of his first game wasn't good, but from 2 to whatever he played very well. So I mean, y'all could bet on Bronny all you want to. I don't think he's going to be rookie of the year.
I don't think so either, man, because like you said, we're not even talking about the guy who was drafted number 17. Like, let's not forget about him. Was it 17 or 14? It was 17, right? I'm pretty sure it was 17. Yeah, let's not forget about the 17. guy that was drafted number 17 that's on the same team as him, that's playing way better than him in the summer league. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop. Y'all got to stop this bullshit. I don't think LeBron has that much pull. Like, he's not going to play better than Connect. He's not going to play better than Dillingham. He's not going to play better than half the rookies that were drafted 1 through 54. Like, stop playing, bro. Like, stop the madness. Like, why is this even a conversation? Like, why is it even a conversation? Somebody literally put a $1,000
because
bet down on him to win rookie of the year. But if he win it, he get $250,000. So
right.
Who knows?
But it's because he's LeBron James' son, man. So,
for sure.
You know, as we see Bron about to be 40, came through in the clutch 2-night score last night against Germany. You know, so you think, okay, it may be
Germany,
something.
Was it the Sudan? I thought that was the Sudan game.
It was Germany. It was Germany.
Gotcha.
He had like the last 11 points or whatever for the USA.
He also hit the game-winning layup to beat the Sudan team.
Sudan. Yeah. I mean, Bron's been doing his thing. So you would think, okay, well, maybe it's something in the James genes, because Bryce doesn't look bad as a junior, senior in high school.
Junior year of high school, I believe.
And so, like, I mean, maybe he'll figure it out. Maybe his athletic prowess will take over at some point in time. But come on, dog. Let's be serious here.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, people. He's not winning rookie of the year, and if he does, y'all can come back to this video and say, Sticks, D-Lo, y'all some fools. Y'all should have put some money down on that boy. Sticks, you should have went to the casino and put some money on that boy, because he won it. I put $10 on him. I put $10 on him, get what, $250? No, $2,500. That's a payday. Shit, a payday.
Yeah.
But moving on to some, I would say, a little bit more pressing news, and maybe not, but maybe I overreacted to it. I think a lot of people overreacted to it. So there was a major global IT outage over the weekend that had a lot of airlines, banks, businesses all across the world grounded, so to speak. My company even had an issue with it because CrowdStrike put an update for Windows out that literally broke the world. So D-Lo, a lot of people were overreacting, me included, saying that it was a breach in the internet and it was bigger than what it might have been, and yada yada yada. And I had a couple people in my gaming circles that was thinking the same thing. D-Lo, why do you think, number one, that people were overreacting to this outage, and then number two, answer that question first. I think I have a question. I just can't figure out how to word it. I can't figure out how to word it. But go ahead.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, I think people overreacted to it. One, because of what you said. The airlines were down, so travel to go to certain destinations was canceled. Banks were having issues, so payments weren't going through. Businesses were closed down, so money wasn't being made. So on and so forth. So that's why people were overreacting. And we've just become so accustomed to having these type of breaches and some type of activists, hackers have taken credit for it. But lo and behold, it was an update from CrowdStrike, one of the leading cybersecurity firms out there, updating their services for Windows specifically and causing this big issue. So, I mean, that's why people overreacted. And then, we move into, as we continue to move closer to fully depending on AI, artificial intelligence, it's just we think stuff like this is going to happen continuously. Sticks has gone on record multiple times saying he's scared of AI. But
Petrified people.
realistically, we should be worried about what we're using right now, because as we come to find out, that controls the world. With one push of a button, you can shut everything down. You can give somebody $1 million on the drop of a dime. You can change everything in the world. I mean, so the technology we use right now, we depend heavily on. And as we see, with one press of a button, chaos can ensue.
The world can literally shut down with a
Yeah,
push of a button. And that was the second question that I was trying to word. I don't know why I couldn't word it, but why would they just put out a update after hours? Because ain't that what usually happens? Like
they did.
updates. But damn, did it really? I thought it
Yeah,
happened like during the day, low key, because like it
no,
was shut down for like so long.
yeah, they put it out overnight for us here in the United States. I believe CrowdStrike is a U.S. business, and
Mm-hmm.
so they put the update out like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I believe, but it bled into the rest of the day because
For
they were trying
sure.
to fix it. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, this happens more than we think. Not this, obviously, this is like one of the biggest outages, IT outages there ever has been. But these type of outages happen quite often. Um, what two? Well, it wasn't because of an update, but what, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, AT&T, Verizon,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
those
had that
cell
outage.
phone
Yep.
companies had the outage, but they were actually, I think they were hacked. I could be wrong about
I
that.
believe they were hacked, and they actually gave people like rebates and refunds and stuff for them having it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah.
mean, this type of stuff happens more than we realize.
And it does. And you are right. They put the update went out July 19th, 2024 at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was up and it was remediated at 5:27 in the afternoon in the evening. So it was
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
lasted a full 12 hours, and it was a scary time because I was at work. I wasn't nothing happened to me and my computer. Like my stuff was still straight. People were reporting getting blue screened and IT was backed up and nobody could work, but you could still use like WebEx and stuff like that to like video call and chat and stuff like that, but you couldn't do no work. And like you said, businesses were just down. We couldn't call new clients. We couldn't onboard any new clients for our benefits packages and stuff like that. So like it was a whole day of no money being made, and that's a scary sight, especially for like people in the U.S. Where capitalism is running rampant. People need their bread. People need their money. So it's like it was just scary. But you had a lot of people, especially with this coming after the deletion attempt on Trump. Like this is like, bruh, like
hmm
what is really going on with the world right now? Like Trump,
right.
they tried to off Trump. Now we got people trying to breach the internet, and it was just a whole uproar. But good to find out that it was just an update and not somebody actually trying to breach it, because that would have been worse. Because if somebody actually got that deep into breaching us, the amount of information they could have got, and we was already talking over the past like year or so, where people were trying to breach us, try to find out where the nuclear bombs were hidden, and they were flying blimps over the U.S. and there was like a lot of crap going on. So this is just stemming from a lot of stuff that's been happening over the past year or so. But bruh, people were really like theorizing what was really going on with this internet, and it was
Yeah,
low key scary for a lot of people. It was low key scary for a lot of people.
yeah, yeah. I mean, other countries try to tap into our power grid. They try to breach the internet and pick up valuable information, like you said, where the nuclear codes are, so on and so forth. So, I mean, I understand why people were concerned, were theorizing what is actually going on, because this is like one of the, again, few months ago you had the AT&T outage, or the phone outage. I won't just pinpoint AT&T because Verizon and other companies were affected as well, which
Mm-hmm.
that went on for half the day
Mm-hmm.
almost,
Yeah.
where cell services was out. Then you have this, so it's like what is really going on? I can definitely understand why people are concerned. And then going into an election year, as we see the different things that happen, um, everybody's saying that Russia, China, not have been in our elections, and you know put themselves in our election, try to fix the election or rig the election, so on and so forth. So, I mean, I definitely understand. It's a lot of technology that we use, we depend on, but just a little update that caused all this.
Just a little update, brother. So I'm glad everything's back to normal, but people were really afraid. People were really afraid, bro.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all we got, right? Just those.
That's it. That was the last one. Unless you got something else you want to talk about, something off topic you want to bring up.
I don't have anything off topic other than, I mean, we don't talk politics, but this is big news. I've never seen this happen. Joe Biden bowed out.
Yeah,
bowed out of the race, and now they're pumping Kamala Harris. So interested to see what that is. See how that goes. What do you think about that? Not to dig too
deep into it.
But Joe Biden, Joe Biden, no longer being in the race, resigning from the presidential election, and now I believe it's looking like nobody else is going to try to compete against Kamala Harris to be the Democratic candidate. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong because I don't know a lot of politics and I don't know a lot of history of the presidents, but this could be the first time this has ever happened in the history of the
I think so, where a president in the 11th hour, a sitting president in the 11th hour that has eligibility to run to be president again in the second term has decided to no longer run, to drop out of the race and give opportunity for somebody else in their respective party. Yeah,
particularly the vice president. It's the first time. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of uproar, especially from the Black and brown community, in support of Kamala, which is not necessarily surprising, but kind of, sort of. I don't necessarily feel no type of way about it. I feel like the way that the Biden administration kind of ran the country over the past 4 years was, in my personal opinion, very inadequately. But if that's any insight of things to go for the next 4 years, then I don't think we need that. I'm not necessarily a Trump supporter, but I don't have a problem with how he ran the country in his term. He's just a bad personality for the position to me. That's just me personally. But we'll see, man. We'll see how everything works out. I mean, I don't think either are that good of a choice, but we'll have to see how that goes, man. We have to see how that goes. What you think? How you feel about it?
I mean, so as far as Biden dropping out, I think from 4 years ago to now, you could definitely see a decline in my opinion, in his 100%. Cognitive abilities.
Yes.
I'm glad that he has an opportunity, because before I say what I'm about to say, we know being a president ages you. Every president younger, in their younger years, we'll use these as example: George W. Bush, Barack Obama, the last two, when I was able to first begin to vote, the ones that I saw as active presidents, from when they were fresh, the first term, from day one till they left office, looked like two completely different people.
Agreed.
Aged out the wazoo. So, and it's just a taxing job. It's very strenuous on you. You're mental stressful for you, right? And so for him to be 81, if he was to win, when he left office, he'd have been 86. So I'm glad he has the ability to walk away. He was the president. He'll forever go down in history, good, bad, or ugly. He was a president. And now he can, I'm sure they'll tap him on the shoulder to make appearances here and there, but he could probably spend the rest of his time.
Wake him up.
Well, whatever the case may be.
I'm sorry.
But he can. No, you're good. You're good. I mean, it's true. But I'm just saying. But he could spend time with his family. As far as Kamala, I don't really feel any type of way about that. But what I do know is like Democratic Party is like trying to pump themselves up as if this is a good thing. But from what I recall, 4 years ago, not even, well, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, he was talking junk about this woman. And now all of a sudden she's the savior. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think the last 2 terms were ran particularly well for both sides. So, and I also don't think either is a great choice at right now, but this is all we have. So we'll see.
We shall see, brother. We shall see.
Yeah. But Sticks, man, episode 73?
73 in the books.
73 in the books. 73 in the books. We want to thank you all for tuning in to Too Complex. Remember that life is oftentimes short and complex, but when it becomes too complex, don't be afraid to lean on those that you love the most to help find simplicity and balance in life. Stay prayed up in this crazy world. A few requests thrown above can return you peace and sanity. Thanks for loving us and supporting this podcast. It means the world to us. We're sending our love right back to you. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, and also follow us on all of your social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And as always, if it ain't too complex, it ain't complex at all. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you.
Salute.